begin, of course, with President Rodrigo Duterte addressing the nation halfway through his term. In the speech that lasted about an hour and a half, the president outlined claimed accomplishments so far while providing a peek into what he hopes to accomplish with 3 short years remaining. Maricel Halili comes to us live from the Batasan with the details. Maricel?
Robbie, President Rodrigo Duterte's fourth State of the Nation address centered on his accomplishments for the past 3 years of the administration. And as expected, he took this opportunity to explain his stand on the West Philippine Sea issue. He also discussed one of his favorite topics, his war on illegal drugs, and his wish to reimpose death penalty for heinous crimes related to illegal drugs and plunder. The president started off the SONA by thanking those who supported administration officials in the last elections. He also boasted of his high approval rating. Not surprisingly, one of the first issues tackled was illegal drugs. He said the Marawi siege was drug-related, saying the terrorist funds all came from dealing in the illicit trade. He called for the reimposition of the death penalty for heinous crimes related to illegal drugs and plunder, because corruption, he said, allows the social monster to thrive.
Let the reason why I advocate the imposition of the death penalty for crimes related to illegal drugs. The drugs will not be crossed unless we continue to eliminate corruption that allows the social monster to survive. I respectfully request Congress to reinstate the death penalty for heinous crimes related to drugs as well as plunder. We cannot distinguish our need from our greed. What matters above all is the self.
The president also expressed his disappointment with ghost claims at PhilHealth.
An imaginary treatment of ghost patients. I am grossly disappointed. The government is conned of millions of pesos which could be used to treat illnesses and possibly save the lives of many. Thus, I ordered the NBI to arrest and cause the prosecution of those liable. I appointed a new PhilHealth president, whom I know is a man of integrity.
Despite accusing more than 60 customs employees recently of corruption, he praised the Bureau of its hefty collection. He also lauded the performance of PAGCOR and its chairman, Andrea Domingo. President Duterte mentioned the passing of Ease of Doing Business law, which he signed last year. He also explained his decision to let Chinese fishing vessels in the country's exclusive economic zone.
When I said I allowed, that was on the premise that I own the property. Pero hindi tayo in control of the property. Yan, magsabi sila, of course, I will allow you. Kaya pinabalik. Yung disgrasya, yung pagsabi, a mere incident, legal marine incident. Yan ang ginagamit sa batas yan. A marine incident happened. Hindi naman sinasabi marine accident. It was just nabanggaan, wala naman. So they wanted to talk. Tapos ayaw dito. And so, sige, we will investigate and you investigate. And when we are ready, we should meet and compare notes. And let us determine who pays for what damage. Ganun lang. Ipadala ko yung Marines ko to drive away the Chinese fishermen. I guarantee you, not one of them will come home alive. Because there are already guided missiles in that island. And the fastest that they have installed can reach.
Robbie, in his SONA, President Rodrigo Duterte also touched on other issues. This includes the salary standardization law, wage hike for teachers, the implementation of the phase 2 of his tax reform agenda, and of course, there's the mandatory ROTC. Robbie?
As Maricel had pointed out, the President addressed a range of issues and outlined legislative priorities on taxes, salaries for civil servants, and the need to streamline government on the national and local levels, among others. After the military and the police, Duterte promised to now raise the salaries of public school teachers and nurses.
To the teachers, alam mo dito, who toil and work tirelessly to educate our young. Kasali na po dito yung hinihingi ninyo. Hindi naman masyadong malaki, pero it will tide you over during this hard time. A little bit bigger than before. This is intended to increase salaries of national government workers, including teachers and nurses.
To create more jobs, the President also vowed to streamline rules and incentives for investors and entrepreneurs. Under Train 2, the government will pursue lower corporate income taxes.
I therefore implore Congress to immediately pass Package 2 of the Comprehensive Tax Reform Program, or the Trabajo Bill, which shall gradually lower the corporate income tax and rationalize and improve fiscal incentives. It will energize our MSMEs and encourage them to expand their business and hopefully generate, I'm missing the word hopefully, para sabihin na you're all talk, hopefully 104 million jobs in the coming years. I am also asking Congress to pass the remaining packages of my administration's tax reform program and the bills that would further raise excise tax on, very good, let us do it, tobacco and alcohol.
Meanwhile, in a recurring theme, the President said no amount of incentives or programs will work unless corruption is rooted out.
I have fired or caused the resignation of more than 100 officials and appointees of government without regard to relationship, friendship, and alliance. There is no sacred cow, as the saying goes, in my administration. Bureau of Customs, though corruption-ridden, managed to collect 585 billion pesos in 2018. Imagine how much more could have been collected had the BOC been clean and less corrupt.
Meanwhile, the President said he will proceed with relocating informal settlers as part of urban renewal efforts.
On January 27, 2019, we officially started the Manila Bay rehabilitation. Though we have a long way to go, we are encouraged by the test results of the waters near Padre Faura. We will relocate informal settlers. I hope it can happen during my time. Along the waterways and shut down establishments that continue to pollute and poison our waters. Make a choice. I'm going to the... Malaki ba yung building dyan? I'm going to dismantle your building or just simply burn it down.
And to address poverty and peace in Mindanao, the President said the Bangsamoro law can stand some improvement, but the more important thing is to implement it immediately.
Yung peace and security, we need to enforce the law. After almost 2 decades of peace negotiation, the Bangsamoro Organic Law was finally passed and ratified. For decades, our Muslim brothers in the armed have been mired in poverty. my late Muslim brother, Minda Chair Abdul Ghair Alonto, envisioned a progressive, peaceful, and united Mindanao during our lifetime. It is my hope that the Bangsamoro transition will fast-track the establishment of regional government that will secure and comfortable life.
After his speech, President Duterte stuck around for a post-SONA press conference. There he addressed issues not tackled in his State of the Nation address. Asked why his speech did not touch on charter change, for example, the president said he tabled discussions for it in the future.
It is not the proper time to be discussing it ngayon.
Meanwhile, the president said he remains a firm believer in federalism, but not before lawmakers take its effects into serious consideration, even if not within his term.
But there are certain things that you have to be very clear. One is that it devolves a lot of authority to the local governments, regional.
The president also announced that government is offering a 1 million peso reward to anyone with information that would lead to the arrest of the people who recently gunned down 4 police officers in Negros Oriental.